Hey, what is going on? Welcome to Goddess of Many Faces here on the YouTube page. And if this is your first time tuning in, please subscribe, like, and share. Now, this is going to be kind of like a different um topic than I normally do. And I think I gotta change the topic to be honest on here. Let me just do it real fast. 1 second. Um, cause it's gonna be waking up in your dreams. That's what this topic is going to be. And as I'm saying it, I'm typing it in because I didn't update it at all. So I had to update it just now. Um, in the past, I've had this experience, but not quite like the way I had it the other night. Um, Before I go into that, I want to say that my dreams have definitely been vivid. Um, have I been taking my consciousness with me into the dream realm? Not so much. Not so much. I actually, it was brought to my attention like, well, damn, I'm having all these vivid dreams. Um, and I'm not aware. Like, and when I say take my consciousness, I mean in terms of like being lucid. You know how when you in a dream, everything's going how it's going, and then all of a sudden you are just like aware. You're like, oh my God, I'm dreaming, I'm dreaming. And for a while, I have not been able to do that. Like, it's just been like, all right, I'm just in the dream, like typically to me, at least my experiences, and I like to think that there's sometimes people collectively have the same experiences, and some things are, you know, not so many people can relate to what it is that you're experiencing, and that's fine. But this particular situation where I became aware, like, damn, I have not been conscious in my dreams. And I just call it consciousness because it's the lucidity of it. Because I used to love like having lucid dreams. I don't know about you guys out there, but when I'm aware that I'm dreaming, I always like to fly or jump high. It's like, it's a certain way that I jump in a dream that translate to flying. And those are like the best dreams. Like I just love flying in a dream. I don't know. It's just it's cool. It's not like you flying like to me like let me drink some water. Like like you're not flying like Superman or nothing like that, but well, at least with me, I don't fly like Superman. It's like I shoot up in the sky. Like there's a certain way that I do it, and then I like to jump from um roof to roof, like different buildings. And that is just like the ultimate fun in a dream. And like when I become lucid, I like to do that. And and it's so weird because every time I do that, it's always like a hater around or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's always somebody that's trying to get at me. That's the weird ish about this. Like, um, not all the time, but like, most of the time. But this last this last time when I became conscious, it became very weird and almost scary in a sense, right? Because, like I said, like for a while, I haven't really been conscious of my dreams. I have not. Like, I don't know, is it because, I'm having these busy days, and then when it's really time for me to go to sleep, I'm exhausted, like super exhausted to the fact that I'm just falling out. But I remember it was one time where I was not dreaming at all. It was just like, you go to sleep and you wake up, and you feel well rested in a sense, because it's like you're going to sleep and there's no activity, nothing's going on. And then at other times you go to sleep and it's just like as if you travel into another world, as if you have another life. And then you waking up and you still feeling tired, like, all right, I just got 8 hours of sleep, but I feel like I had so much activity, going on. But for a while, it was just like, I was going to sleep and just waking up and just, going about my daily routine. Um, and so I didn't like that aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like that. I like to dream. Like ever since I was a little kid, like that was a way for me like to escape certain things. Like now looking at it as an adult and going back on my childhood, I'll be like, well damn, I used to love sleeping, I used to love dreaming, I used to love, but then now I could look back on it, I was like, oh, that was my way of escaping, reality. At the time I just didn't, know that or whatever, right? So for me to go to sleep and not have dreams, it's like, you know, kind of boring, you know, you know. So when my dreams started becoming vivid and I started to just have like a lot of dreams, you know, I became excited because it was like I was going to sleep and I was entering a world where it was just so much things going on, you know. But then I question this thing about my consciousness, like, all right, I'm going to sleep and I'm having a lot of activity, but ain't nothing popping off. Like, I mean, stuff is popping off, but it's like I'm not really aware. It's like as if I'm going to sleep and I'm ignorant to it. Like I'm ignorant to the experience. I feel like when you dream and you're ignorant to it, or you and when I say ignorant to it, like you don't know that you're dreaming, it's like you approach it with the certain knowledge that you have, or you approach it as if you are um, living your life in the real world, or sometimes not. I can't really even say that shit. Like sometimes you just adapt to what's really going on. But I was having a lot of dreams that was just like I was enjoying the dreams, like really, really enjoying the dreams. But I was like questioning, like, well, damn, why the hell my consciousness is not here? Like, why I'm not aware that I'm dreaming right now? Like, and it kind of like bothered me, like, for a while. I mean, like, for months and weeks, it's been like that. I'm like, well, damn, like, yo, why the hell? Like, I'm entering I'm having these different experiences in the dream world. Um, you know, some of it's like I want to say dark, and I've been scary, like a lot of scary dreams. Well, not really scary. Let me not say it. It's not really scary, but it's very different and complex. That's the type of word I want to use for that. It's just very different and complex. Something that's just like crazy scenarios. Like it was a time like in my past where I used to have dreams where it used to be straight airplanes just flying into freaking. Well, this was a long time ago. This was like probably like in the 90s, like early 90s. Now we're gonna try. Now we're gonna. I'm gonna take you guys on a journey with me, like to the 90s, right? And I used to have these dreams, like I want to say like early, like probably mid 90s, right? Probably mid 90s. Um, Mid 90s up until like no, not even early 2000s, like mid 90s to the late 90s. I used to have these dreams all the time. Excuse me. my nose is itching. Um, that airplanes used to um just run into different buildings and shit like that, like just like an airplane. I remember standing by the window and seeing the airplane just come straight in my direction, right? And I used to always have those kind of dreams, like it was just consistently, like. And then I went through something that was very traumatic, that was very life changing, and then I associate those dreams with going through something that was life transitioning, like, you know what I'm saying, like that really altered my life. Like I was in a relationship that was very like abusive. This person just formed into something that was just horrible to me, you know. And so when I used to have those dreams consistently, right, I feel like I associated that with that experience. But then then I started to have different dreams, like probably like in the let me see, the mid 2000s, where it used to be airplane pieces used to fall from the sky. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, like like the airplane pieces would just fall from the sky, or it'll be plane crashes, or like different shit like that. And it used to like kind of like it used to scare me. Like, I ain't even gonna hold you, because it's like I'm not aware. Like, it's when you have like scary dreams, right? Um, when you have dreams like that and you're not aware, and it's crazy because it's like I remember the earliest memory, because I'm not gonna front, like recently I had something like that happen in a dream, but I'm just thinking about my earliest experience with the dream. This is when I used to live in Harlem. Well, I call it Harlem. It's Upper East Side, Spanish Harlem. People could debate that particular area, but I still call it Harlem. People would be like, "No, girl, you lived in the Upper East Side. You was not in no Harlem." It is what it is. And I remember having dreams during that time of my life. I was an adult during that time. And it was like mid 2000s. Mid 2000s, what you got, like 2009, 2010, like, you know, 2011, like stuff like that. I mean, years like that. 'Cause now we all the way in 2025. Like the time, you can't even stop the time. I feel like once I turned 18 years old, the time just speed the hell up. It just went like one, two, three, bung. It's like as if you close your eyes and you like, yo, here I am. And I used to have these dreams where like airplanes used to kind of like fall from the sky, crash, all this crazy stuff. Like it used to always be that kind of dream. And during that time, I was kind of like struggling with different things in my life. I was struggling financially. I was, you know, trying to finish school. I was doing all this stuff. Like, and, I always kind of like associate that with, I don't know, I just did because of the old dreams I used to have. Like, but what was crazy about this kind of dream that I used to have during that time was the fact that it used to always be like some airplanes crashing and crazy shit like that. But then it was like a major war that happened, like a crazy major war. So, like following those plane crashes in the dream, because I'm talking about dreams, this is strictly dreams. It was like a major war. And then it was just like shit just really, excuse my language, things really changed, where it was just like like you couldn't do nothing. Like it was just like everywhere you go, you would see someone that's it wasn't even the military, the army. It was just like a another country like coming over here, and they uh, they had they kind of clothes on like that represents war. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they would call that, because over here you would call it the military or whatever, but in the dream it wasn't the military. It was people from other countries, kind of like really like have their uniform on, and they kind of like uh constructing what they wanted to happen. Like you couldn't go in certain buildings. I remember it was like a plane crash or some crazy ish like that. Then all of a sudden I'm in like some type of building. It wasn't like a prison or nothing like that. It was more so like a shelter. But then you had like these people from other countries with they like uh army attire on. It was just like crazy. And so with that particular dream, I didn't take my consciousness there. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like if I would have took my consciousness to that type of dream or becoming lucid, definitely I would have, just switched it, right? But I was having those kind of dreams for a while, right? And but I used to associate that um with kind of like what I was going through in my life, because at the end of the day, like with dreams, people will choose to go to other people for like interpretation. Like they'll go to different psychics, they go to different type of dream readers, people who kind of, whatever they choose to do. But it's nothing. I mean, well, we got Google. We in a Google age. Like, it's people out there that have whole dream interpretation websites where you could kind of like go and see what's going on. But I used to kind of like base it off a feeling. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like when you looking at a dream, you just trying to really like interpret it in a way in which, right? Because a dream could be something in reference to your life, something, that's trying to highlight certain things, but it's kind of like decoded in a way. Like you could look at it like that, like, oh well, because the reason why I could talk about the airplane whole situation is because when I used to have dreams like that leading up to a certain life transition I went through, I'm like, damn, well, what if this was just warnings? You know what I'm saying? That's why I associated with that. But that may not be what it is, but that's how I associated with that. So you could kind of like um look at it in that aspect, right? Or you could kind of go online and see what the universal interpretation it is for to have about airplanes. You know what I'm saying? Like you could do it like that. Um, right? Or then they have um then there's another thing where people feel like, oh yeah, well, you having like a prophetic kind of dream or some shit like that. So it's just different ways of looking at it in that way. And some people feel like, well, if you eat before you go to sleep, then you bound to have like a nightmare. Because I feel like those dreams was kind of like nightmares. Because it's like that particular dream with like the airplanes falling out the sky, the shit crashing, and all that stuff, that shit was a true nightmare because I wasn't aware that it was a dream. So when you're not aware that you're dreaming, then you just experiencing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so therefore your body's gonna go through that like that reaction as if this is something that's real. And then when you having somebody that's infiltrating some shit, that, you know what I'm saying, you was just living shit normal, and then now, you know what I'm saying, you gotta go into hiding because it's people around that don't want you to be around. Like that shit was just straight. It was like traumatic almost. And we're talking about dreams, okay? Um, this is nothing I have experienced in real life, but that was something that was kind of like a nightmarish, right? It was just very scary and stuff like that, like for real. It was just a scary experience. And then when you wake up, you be like, oh, thank you. Goodness, that was a dream. But, so that was something I was experiencing in the mid 2000s. But I mean, some people would consider this the mid 2000s. I'm talking about like probably like, you know, earlier on in the 2000s, not like 2001 to 2000 and like five, but like, a little bit later than that, right? But then I wasn't really documenting my dreams. I didn't really know at that time that people wrote books about dreams. People had blog, like I didn't know none of that. And sometimes I low key wish, like when I was younger, I was introduced to certain books, where people actually go in and they um, they document their experiences. I'm hot. Oh my God, I'm hot. um they document their experiences with certain dreams and stuff like that. But I think I even made a video in reference to like airplanes and stuff like that. But it was like a crazy time. So I went through that situation, but I kind of think to myself, like, what if I would have been lucid? What if I would have been conscious? Would I've have done something different? You know what I'm saying? Like, would I've, because normally when you have a lucid dream, you become aware that, okay, I'm dreaming. And in most cases, you could switch what's going on. And I honestly feel like when you can't switch what's going on, that means that you're having a astral travel. And that's something that's totally different. But there's people out there that may, uh, you know, argue with me about that situation. Like, oh no, but I'm talking about my experiences. Because some people may feel like, oh, well, if you have an lucid dream, then you are astral traveling. And astral traveling is just the dream, it's just a dream, period. But my thing is, every time when I had a lucid dream in the past, because we're going to lead up to what really prompted me to kind of make this video, because I didn't even talk about the topic in which, that led to me actually doing this video or whatever the case may be. And like with the lucid dreams, every time in the past when I had a lucid dream, I used to just switch it off. I just used to just switch the scenery. It's like I could just go where I want to go, do what I want to do, and I used to just love flying and jumping really high. Like that used to be so fun. Like it's nothing like flying in a dream. Like I can't really explain it. It's just like that's like the best feeling ever, you know. So that's what I used to like opt to do or whatever. And that was a good experience. Um of course, there's other things I like to do as well, but we're not even going to talk about the YouTube on this. Talk about that on the YouTube channel, okay? But for the most part, the flying was like great. Um, but fast forwarding it to kind of like now, like I said, in a recently, right? Until the other day, which was the other day was just like a crazy experience. Like it was just so crazy. So I was having this good dream, very conscious of everything. Boom, right? Um, it was crazy because this particular dream, I seen people that I knew and people that I didn't know. Like what I enjoy about the dream realm is actually meeting people that I don't know. Like when I say meeting people I don't know, like seeing faces that I've never seen before. Now, if you have been listening to, or even on this particular page, then you know, like, my pet peeve is I do not like having dreams about celebrities. I absolutely hate it. Like, I hate having dreams about celebrities. It's just, I don't know what that's about. I just don't like it. It bothers me. I don't know. I don't know why, but what I enjoy is actually um having dreams about people that I even never seen before. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of like weird. It's just like when you have a certain interaction with somebody, right? And you're like, well, damn, I never seen this person before. Like waking up, like because when you wake up from a dream, I read plenty of books and they give certain advice on how to do stuff like, oh, you need to write it down, you need to drink water, you need to look at something, you need to do something to kind of like remember certain dreams, right? But I'm gonna be very honest and candid. I do not write down every dream that I have. I don't, because certain dreams that I have, I'm like, I don't want this shit to come to fruition. Like I don't even, because it's like you remember. I feel like you remember the dreams that just like you remember the. It's crazy how like certain dreams that are negative or quote unquote nightmares or dreams that are just like so twisted in nature or just twisted period. Like it's like why would I want to write that down? Like I don't know. Like I can't co-sign with the whole writing your dreams down. That's something that I feel like certain dreams, like yeah, you may want to write down some things to kind of like um what is it called, to kind of like spark your memory, right? But I just feel like certain dreams you will know exactly what the hell happened, and I feel like you wake up with a feeling, like you wake up with a certain type of feeling that's attached to a certain memory of the dream, right? And then it'll be linked to like certain associations, and it's just like some dreams I don't want to write down. Like I'm just gonna keep it 100. Like some dreams I'm like I don't want to write this dream down because it's so horrible. Like it's so scary that you know what I'm saying? It's like, what am I writing this down for when I have a vivid image of what the hell happened? Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? When something bad happens, you gonna remember it. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's this thing, like in certain books that I've been reading, and then even certain online research that I have conducted, or just people in general, like it's just this thing about, oh, but you want to write down your dreams. You know how it's just this generic, universal thing that people try to tell you, oh, yeah, you need to write down your dreams. You need to do X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, certain dreams I do not want to write down. Certain dreams I do not want to remember. Like straight like that. Like I know that works for me. Maybe it's people out there that want to write down every dream. I do not write down every dream. Like the dreams that I write down are very minimum. And it's always the dreams that it's like it doesn't show up as a movie. You know how when like with a movie you could say, oh well such as you could go from and uh order of what happened. Like it goes A, B, C, D. Like the way it plays, like, you could see it in order, right? But then other dreams don't show up like that. It show up as the most impactful shit that happened, or it shows up as images, or like the dreams where you wake up with the feeling, but you don't quite have the images or the order of the movie. Well, I'm it's not a movie, but you know what I'm saying. Like you wake up with the feeling from the dream, right? But you don't wake up with the images or nothing like that. I feel like with that, I would want to like kind of like, well, not waking up without the images, but waking up with a full idea of what actually took place in there. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you can have dreams and it just always switches. Oh, 1 minute you in your grandmother's house, then all of a sudden you at the mall eating a lollipop. You know what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden you um at a skating race at a skating rink skating. You know what I'm saying? Like crazy shit like that. Then all of a sudden a tiger just ran in a skating ring or some shit like that. Like, you know, I feel like, you know, stuff like that I'll write down, like certain symbols or certain things. But then not everything I write down. I don't think is at least that's for me. For me, I don't know how everybody else do it, but I'm just learning about myself. Like I write down the dreams that I genuinely cannot recall, but I have a feeling. And most likely, when I wake up from the dream, the ending is what's like so prominent in my mind, right? And I write down the ending of it because the ending is what's really, the image that plays into my head. And I have to kind of like think about the images I saw, think about the places that I've been, and I will write down that, and that will kind of like help me to remember what actually happened. You know what I'm saying? So that's what kind of like um work with me. Like, that's how I do it. But I don't write down all my dreams. Like I don't really see the purpose in that. Like because especially when it's a dream that's very impactful. Like if it's a dream that you had that's very impactful, that means you remember it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's no way like you ain't gonna remember that. You know? Um I personally don't, but I read a lot of books that well, that'll be the main thing that they say, oh well get a dream journal, or and it's just like some stuff in my dream I just don't want to write down. I don't want to write it down. And that's me being so honest. Like I do not want to write this down. Hell, I don't even want to remember this dream. That some of the stuff I be like, but it is what it is. I think the thing, because it's like, people don't talk about like these nightmares. Like you talking about nightmares like, what is this movie called? The movie where the guy who infiltrates people's dreams, Nightmare on Elm Street. Like for real, like that's some like people don't really go into that. Like I remember this was just a crazy ass time. Like um I went to sleep one time and then you know how when they say like, oh, a witch is riding you or you in between it. Well, I don't think it's like a witch riding you, right? I I don't think that, right? But that's what people say like but then like in the science term or medical terms, people will say like, oh well, this is sleep paralysis. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, you having a sleep paralysis or whatever like that, right? But what I find is like right before that, like that sleep paralysis is like you could kind of like uh eject out of your body, which is some crazy ass ish. Like you can eject in a way in which like it's just weird to explain it. So I remember this night like it was yesterday, right? I'm not even gonna go into like the details as to where I was at, what I was doing, who I was with. I'm just gonna go into the aspect of just feeling really, really tired for no reason. Like feeling like you know how when you're so tired you can't even hold your eyes open. So like soon it's like as if soon as I laid down, it's as if someone gave me a drug, which I was fully sober. I wasn't like, in real life, I was not under no type of influences, none of that. I did my day as I normally would do my day. Everything was done. I was, just laying down or whatever. And um, it was time for bed. But this particular time, it was different because it was like almost as if I was being pulled into a sleep. Like it was like as if like I was just so tired that I couldn't even hold my eyes open. It was just weird. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's say, for instance, you about to get a procedure and you had to go under anesthesia, like, and you trying to open your eyes or trying to stay up, and the medication is forcing you to go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? So it was like that kind of like pull, right? So I'm like laying down. Then all of a sudden, I'm like in this state where I'm being forced to sleep, right? And so it's like soon as I lay down, boom, my eyes is closed and I can't even hold them open, and I'm forced to the sleep state, right? But then when I go into the sleep state, I'm in a paralysis state, right? Where I'm aware, but I can't move my body, right? And then all of a sudden I ejected, right? And then I saw this fucking entity. He looked at like kind of like the Grim Reaper. And this dude was like, yo, he wasn't trying. This dude was just effing me up. Like he was getting at me, son. Getting at me crazy, son. And I'm like, you know, I wasn't expecting that. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I dropped him, body kicked him, all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit here and say none of that. So I was just trying to just get back into my body and wake up. So I would get up. I had jumped in my body and I had got back up. And it kind of low key scared me like, yo, what the hell is this? Like, you know? But then what's crazy is like I woke up, but then that pull came again, and that guy was still there, whatever it was. I don't know what the fuck that was, to be honest with you. I have no idea what the hell that was. You know what I'm saying? The second time it was like the same experience, but the third time it wasn't that. But that was like very crazy. Like that was crazy. And that is very vivid in my mind. I didn't have to write that down like, oh, let me get my journal, my dream journal and read this. No, that shit, what happened in that dream, because it was a dream, regardless of how you put it. But I feel like most of that was kind of an astral in a way, because it's just like you being ejected from your body. So I feel like that was kind of like an astral experience, but I still had to go down. I still had to go to sleep for it to happen. It didn't happen when I was awake. If that shit would have happened when I was awake, they probably would have sent me to Bellevue. Like, yo, you gotta go. Like, I'm sorry, you gotta go to the, you know what I'm saying? Shit, I would have been in somebody's psych ward that day. I'm so grateful that I have never had, you know, it have never gotten to that, but I see where it's people out there that they have this thing where they don't know if they dreaming or if they're awake because the worlds collide, which is the most like what I'm grateful about is that I could talk about my experiences once I go to sleep about my dreams and stuff like that. So I'm grateful that I can have that um those stories, you know what I'm saying? Those dream adventures, right? And even though I was not able, you know, for a while to take my consciousness with me, to sleep, I'm not, you know, in a place where, well, let me talk about the reason why, right? Because the reason why I'm kind of like, made this video. Let me see. Let's go to it so I can get to the topic. So the topic is waking up in your dreams. Let me go to it real fast. So I don't even know if I'm just trying to see something real fast. So um so waking up in your dreams. So a few nights ago was just so interesting to me. Like this shit was just so crazy. So I was just having some, regular dream or whatever. And then all of a sudden I was, I woke up. At least I thought I woke up. Like, um, for a while I was kind of like sleeping in my living room because I have like a TV in my living room, and I used to just like, watch movies and do like different activities in the living rooms, and I end up falling asleep in the couch or whatever. And that's just my chill place, right? But I had gotten the living room painted, so I've been coming and sleeping in my bedroom, and the way I sleep on the bed is like I don't sleep at the like I don't know. Sometimes I sleep on the head, sometimes I sleep at the foot. So I was sleeping. So I was sleeping. I had the dream. The dream was just a normal, regular dream. Like, you know, um, within the dream, I wasn't really like conscious. It was just your regular dream. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think what actually happened in the dream is relevant because it's just really not. Maybe one day I'll go into elaborations with it, but it's just I don't think it's relevant. Like it wasn't really nothing. It was just like a regular dream. And then all of a sudden I find myself just waking up like I'm over here like, yo, waking up like boom, like and I'm waking up as if like, as you know how I went to sleep, I just woke up. So I'm like, oh shit, that was a dream, blah 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 blah. Then you know how you wake up and you don't necessarily get out the bed. Like you don't get out the bed. You just kind of like lay there and just ponder on your thoughts. And so that's what I was doing. I had woke up and I was laying there like, oh wow, that was an interesting dream. And I was thinking about like, well, damn, I should have did X, Y, and Z. And then all of a sudden, I started looking on the ceilings, and then I started seeing all these freaking colors, like just different colors in the ceilings and just crazy stuff. Then all of a sudden, I feel myself. I'm like, oh my God, like I'm still dreaming. Like then I feel myself like being sucked down. Like I don't know, it was kind of weird. It was almost like I was being sucked down into the next apartment. That was kind of like, you know, it was just weird. It was like I was being sucked, and that kind of like reminded me of the story I just told you guys about the dream where, in between sleep state and that fucking entity or whatever was trying to get at me. Not trying, he was literally beating my ass. But it was like I was being sucked in, and then I remember going down into the next apartment, and then all of a sudden, somehow I was in this other world. And it was crazy because this world was kind of like this one, where people was just kind of like um meeting up and doing different functions. You had, parents who was actively involved with their kids. Then you had like a little dog area where people was like just it was just dogs over there. But it was just like in this big ass it was like kind of like you was in this dome, and it was like different sections, but everyone kind of like operated as if, in this society, you know how, people are family oriented, doing things with their kids, and you have like dogs who are in like a shelter and they functioning together and waiting to be adopted and stuff like that. Then you have like it was just like a lot of different things going on within that world. It was just like weird. I'm just like, what the hell? Like I woke up. But it was crazy how I just woke up, and then I was still dreaming. And then I started seeing shit on the wall. I'm like, oh my God, I'm still dreaming. Like, how the fuck you wake up from a dream and then you wake up but you really still in a dream, right? And then I somehow got back out of that, and then I woke up again, and for whatever reason now I can't even remember what dream followed that, but I did it twice that one night, and it was like, yo, I woke up twice, which was crazy, and it was kind of low key scary, but it was just like these images. I'm like, what the hell? Like I'm literally laying. Now, I don't know why the last stream ain't vivid. Like it was just I just had it in my mind. But I remember the first time when I went to that world, and then the second time was just it ain't there. It's not there. Now that would have been a good thing to write down, like that, because me even talking about that good shit. But it happened twice, and I was like, that's so interesting. How you just wake up and you think you really woke up, but you really didn't wake up, and you still in a dream. And it made me think about like Nightmare on Elm Street, how like the teens, they used to wake up and they think they woke up and they're like, oh yes, I'm up now, and then they still stuck in a dream, but the dream is like some type of nightmare for them. Where it's something that's trying to like really kill them and shit like that. So I found that to be like very interesting, and how I realized I was in a dream. It was like something that was on a wall that just wasn't there before. It was like colorful shit on the wall. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what the hell is this? Like, and I think it happened when I was really about to just like try to get up and stand up. And it was just like, oh no, no, I don't know. Like it was just the most weirdest shit ever. But um when that happened the second time, I was like, what the hell? But then now it's like as if my mind just went blank, like boop, boop. I guess like with that situation, it would be like kind of like good for me to see now that type of thing you will want to write down. I ain't write it down. It was just the most weirdest experience. Like the weirdest experience. Hmm. It was super weird. Um, yeah, super weird. But because it really felt like I woke up. It really felt like I woke up. Because I was in the same position where I was laying at. My pillows was positioned the same way, everything. But it's like maybe astrally I woke up, you know? Maybe I just woke up in a different realm of reality, but not in this one. And that's what's so interesting to me. Like, as a kid, I used to find that kind of stuff intriguing, right? Especially when I used to have the dreams I like to have. But um, my thing was always trying to get to a dream that you want to be a part of, right? And I took a lot of different classes, um, or whatever, read a lot of different books, um, and somehow I still haven't mastered that art form as of yet. Um, I think I think the reason is why is because I've been having like probably like a lot of things that have been on my mind. Maybe I don't know. Um, because they say another way is the visualization is key, but then like I said, like certain life experiences are happening and certain things. I feel like it's kind of like tainted a little bit by traumatic situations, or like, if you go through something that's very traumatic and an aspect of your thinking could be a little bit negative. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like I said, this is all trial and error, or just to see what's gonna work and what's not gonna work. You know? Um, but I'm not gonna let no fear, nothing, no scary dream, none of that stuff divert me from anything. Cause it's just like I'm not doing it. Mm-mm, I'm not doing it. And yeah, I'm not. Cause I feel like I think really kind of like tapping into what works for you. Cause universally, you know what I'm saying? This is not no universal remote where it could work on any TV. I just feel like, you have to figure out what works for you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like someone could be like, well, I ate a bag of barbecue potato chips, and every time I eat a barbecue potato chips, I always astral travel, I always lucid dream, or I always have this type of dream. Like, I feel like people just gotta figure out like what really works for them. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like where I'm at now, figuring out what works to have the outcome that, I really want. And then, you know what I'm saying? And then sometimes you gotta be like, some dreams ain't even that important, B. But I think like some dreams are. And I think you get messages from your dreams. I truly believe that. Like, you know, some people may not some people may not feel that way, but I do. And that's kind of like why I, you know, made this channel or whatever the case may be, to kind of like talk about that. And then, it um started becoming like kind of like random in a sense or whatever. with the things that I talk about. Or, may show myself partying, or maybe I talk about other topics, or maybe I might be painting, whatever. This is just a random um, YouTube channel, but when I initially set this up, it was mainly about dreams, and I like to talk about dreams. So I want to get into that aspect of delving into that realm, but it's not going to be like no universal, like one size fit all, because it's just like not that. It's really not that. So I'm kind of aware of that, but I'm about to end the stream here. I am starving, yo. I don't even know what I'm thinking. Like, should I make breakfast or should I eat some leftovers? That's all I'm at. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had did a video. I have first of all, like I did this video about eggs. I'm like, yo, eggs at my local supermarket is like 15.99 for a dozen and a half eggs. I was like, in what world? Like, in what world? Like, who would even think like, yo, I'ma charge 15.99 for a dozen and a half eggs, right? So I started going to Target to get my eggs. I feel like Target eggs is so reasonable. They prices, even when the egg prices are really high, they always have they prices at a reasonable point. On the cheapest part, you could get like a dozen eggs for $2. You know what I'm saying? On a good day, when the eggs ain't, when things aren't as inflated or whatever. And so I have bought a dozen and a half eggs at Target was like seven and change, so I bought two of them. So I've been you know what I'm saying, making scrambled eggs, making different breakfast foods and stuff like that. And then of course, you use eggs with practically everything, pretty much, right? But this morning, I don't think I want eggs. I don't think I want eggs. Yesterday I had the ill breakfast. Like, yo, I had some scrambled eggs. I had some bacon, some sausages, and some potatoes. Oh my god, that joint was hitting. Like when I tell you it was hitting, it was hitting. So delicious. And I'm like, do I want to do that again? Cause that breakfast was good. Oh my god, it was so good. I'm like, I got this big pot of baked ziti. I'm about to just, I'm about to just take me some of that out and be like, yo, boom, here we go, eating that. Or warm up some hot wings or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Do like I ain't even going front. Like I like leftover foods. Like when I was younger, like if you was my closest friend, you knew when I wake up in the morning, I like to warm up some leftovers, especially some good food that you cook. Oh my God, it used to be so good, yo. I used to have a friend, her man used to cook all the time. They used to have like parties and shit. She used to come visit me. When she visited me, she cooked like, yo, the food was exquisite. Like, oh, I wake up the next day, I'm having me a drink and eating some leftovers. Boy, my 20s was a different era, but I'm grateful for life. Like I am. I'm grateful for where I'm at now. You know, the healthiest part about breakfast is like maybe I have like a boiled egg, you know what I'm saying? Boiled egg, or like I don't even have to go all out like that. I could just boil the egg and eat it. You know what I'm saying? Or some people be like, oh, you can do a boiled egg and do like some turkey bacon. And I like when I was in my 20s, I used to be like, yo, heavy on my health shit. Like I used to always like it was crazy. And so I used to only make like turkey bacon, but I feel like I really made turkey bacon because I really didn't know how to make pork bacon. Like every time I used to make pork bacon back in the days, I used to always burn it. Like All it never fails, and I felt like turkey bacon was the easiest bacon to make because first of all, when you buy the turkey bacon, it's already done. It's fully cooked. You just kind of like making it crispy. You know what I'm saying? And like when you look on the turkey bacon, it says fully cooked. So you just really making it crispy. At least the bacon I get, you know. But I like these days. I've been liking pork bacon. I ain't even gonna hold you. Be like the pork bacon be hitting like on a good day, son. Like I'm not even gonna hold you. I still buy turkey bacon, but I enjoy pork bacon. I still I'll get turkey bacon and pork bacon. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I eat the pork bacon when I run out of that. Then I do the turkey. You know, 'cause in my household, like not everybody eat pork bacon. I mean, well, they kind of do eat pork bacon, but it is what it is. But I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna eat for my breakfast. Cause this is live. Hopefully, um, the audio has been good. Um, I'm still a fairly new YouTube channel, so if this is your first time tapping in, you made it to the end of this, just subscribe. And also on the comment section, let me know, have you ever had any dreams in which you woke up in your dreams? You know what I'm saying? You can either make a response video or comment below your experiences, how it was for you. Because I definitely want this channel to be interactive, like where you guys could let me know what your dream experiences have been, right? I wish I had like a community where it was okay to talk about dreams. A lot of people don't really like to talk about dreams because then when you talk about dreams, then the next thing people want you to do is interpret it. But there's so many avenues on Google that so many different dream interpretation websites and stuff like that. If you want um a general interpretation of what a dream means, then go for it. But I just always want to know, like, how did it make you feel? You know what I'm saying? Like, what I'm saying? Like, what's going on in your life that you had this dream? I don't know. But I'm about to enter here. I know some people be going live for like 3 hours. I'm not doing that right now. Like, I'm not like I'm not doing that. But thank you so much. If this your first time tuning in, definitely subscribe, like the channel, and share. Um, I do um want to grow this channel. Get up to 1,000 subscribers. Um, yeah, with like-minded people, like people who are interested in these kind of topics, and you know, I'm gonna post other things on here. So, all right, peace.